It's Yetundevlogs. Yetundevlogs.
Hi guys, and welcome to Yetundevlogs. My name is Yetunde. I hope you guys are doing well. Hope you're having a wonderful week so far. I hope you're liking my very bright and colourful African top. I'm really loving it. I'm loving it. I'm feeling myself. Feeling a bit. I feel like it's reminiscent of like Kente colours. So I'm kind of loving it. I'm loving it extra because of that. But anyway, I just thought of this song that it so goes with what I'm going to talk about. It's by formerly P Squared. Put your busy body Put your busy body oh, that song was a tune. Okay, I don't remember the song. I don't remember the lyrics, but that song was a tune. That album was a hit. But anyway, I know that I've complained about busybodies before on my channel. This was a long time ago when I first moved to Lagos, about how people are so in your business. People just love to talk. People just love to ask questions that don't concern them. It was everywhere. It's everywhere. But I feel like Nigerians were very forward anyway. And I feel like part of me, I've become bolder, as opposed to the UK where, you know, someone's your skirt can be tucked into your knickers and your bum could be hanging out. No one is going to check you. No one's going to be like, oh. Sometimes if you're lucky, you might be someone like timidly, they'll be like, I'm so sorry, excuse me, I'm so sorry, but I think you should look behind you. Whereas in Nigeria, it's like, you don't see that your knicker don't tuck inside your pants or your skirt don't enter your pants. You'd be like, I think you'd feel more embarrassed, or they'll be like, oh, what is this on your face, or what? Like Nigeria, basically, there's always someone to let you know when you're not looking good. They'll let, if you're looking sick, even if you never ask for it, someone will be willing to give you unsolicited advice and be in your business for no reason. But sometimes it's good, sometimes it's not so good. And today I want to share a story with you guys on the not so good part. Whew. So a few years back, when I first moved to Lagos, in that job, I spoke about that job, my first job here. So one particular day, I noticed this smell in the office, and I didn't quite understand. Well, you know, for me, I have this inclination that once I smell something, I check my breath, check my armpits, I check myself first to make sure that smell, especially if it's an unpleasant smell, it's not coming from me. So I like to check myself. I might even go to the bathroom and to the toilet and make sure that it's none of my areas and everything, because you know, I can get paranoid like that. So I smelled the smell, and then I didn't know where it was coming from. Anyway, I realized in the end that it was coming from my new colleague. And the thing is, like I said, coming from England, there's that whole you're being polite and you don't want to make someone feel awkward, and sometimes you just feel like it's not your business, basically. And so I didn't say anything, and so I said nothing. I thought maybe it's just me. Maybe my senses were extra heightened that month or something. You know, when it's that time of the month, sometimes your hormones can be a bit whatever. But then after some days, I realized it was actually quite strong, and I didn't know what to do. I didn't know what to say, but I just and it was making me uncomfortable because I didn't really want to be around him. I felt like, oh my gosh, I don't know what to do. And then we were in the office. He wasn't in the office. Like me and my other colleagues were in the office, and one of them was like, but boy, in your own room, man. As in this is your friend that he's really smelling. And I was like, oh my god. In my mind, I was thinking, so I'm not the only one. And I just thought, and I was like, what do you mean? She was like, no, there's this smell. And another colleague now chimed in and be like, yes, so that smell, I don't know what, it's terrible, that it's too much. And I was like, okay, and I was like, oh, why didn't you guys tell him that? What's my own? It's not my business. Blah, blah, blah. And then I realized, obviously, I was trying to shaft it off onto them and be like, okay, you guys do it, because I didn't want to have to be the one to do it. So I now realized that it had turned into a whole office conversation, and I felt so uncomfortable. Like I hate that idea of being a hypocrite. You'd be smiling at someone, say hi, and then 2 seconds later you're talking behind their back and saying, and they're not even there to defend themselves. And I just felt so uncomfortable, and I was just like, literally, you just have to tell him, like, and I'm in my mind, there's that thing when you're like, well, it's not your business, blah 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 blah. But in the end, I was just like, you know what, forget this. I'm just gonna tell him. It was the following day in the morning. I called him aside, and I was like, I'm not sure. I didn't know how to approach it. I was just like, God, just, with me, I can be a little bit. I have my Sprupoko moments, like, because I feel like I have to. When I don't have words, I always believe that I just need to be given the right words, not to offend somebody. I don't like, obviously, no one likes offending anyone, but and I don't like to be too brash. So I was like, God, just Holy Spirit, just give me the words to say to this guy, so he doesn't feel like, who the hell do I think I am, or it can turn into a disaster. So I just called him to the side. I was like, I'm not sure. Perhaps maybe what he's using, the deodorant that he's using, or maybe it's the commute into work. But basically, my brother, there's a emanating odor, unpleasant. Anyway, at least I said that there's a particular like smell. So he was like, oh my God, like what I'm smelling, and I was like, kind of, yeah, like yeah. I'm not sure. Maybe it could be like the commute and stuff, the heat. And he was like, oh my God, like thank you so much. He was so grateful, and I think literally he found some deodorant and sprayed it on, and he was like, came back to me, he was like, how did that smell? I said it's better. But subsequently afterwards, he was fine. Like he, there was no more body odor, and there was no more talk about it. And I realized that, I've always been that person. Like I said, I'm a little bit of a busybody when it comes to certain things. I don't like to see people, because I've been made to feel small at times in certain situations, and I hate that feeling. So I would hate that for somebody else. And I feel like things that, if we can correct it by just communicating and being a bit frank with each other, why not? Like, so rather than turn someone into office gossip, you could just help them out and be like, bruv, this is what's happening, bish bash bosh, and no more smelling again. And he wasn't, and he was fine. I feel like it's so important, like, to be able to communicate with people and just to help them in some way, shape or form to be better. I think that's the good side of being a busybody. Like, let them know that, okay, I even sent a message to someone today, such a busybody, like, their name on Instagram I felt was too generalized. It could be just anybody. And so I tried to hold back. I tried to hold back. I couldn't help myself, because she'd messaged me about something on my story anyway. So I just thought, hell, why not? And I know, because my husband is usually my voice of reason when it comes to these things. He'll be like, babe, just leave it. On this occasion, I didn't even tell him. So I was just like, so I messaged her. I was like, you can tell me to mind my business if you want, but I just want to ask, what was your reasoning behind your name on your Instagram? And she told me, and I was like, okay, that's fair enough. But wouldn't you feel like it's better, with your beautiful face, to be next to your actual name, something that is a bit more unique than just this name? Because I felt like it was too general. And I was like, again, it's just my opinion. Don't have to respond. You don't have to say anything. But she took it well, and she was glad that I reached out to her. So I just feel like sometimes it's good to be a busybody. Sometimes it's important that, because it's part of being our brother's keeper. I think that a lot of the reasons why our nation is the way it is, I'm getting a bit deep here now. I feel like a lot of the reasons why our nation has deteriorated so much is because everybody has been on their own P of OYO, on your own. It's mind your business. Because when I was growing up, my parents used to say to me how much in Nigeria, you are your brother's keeper, your neighbors, your neighbors, you're friends with your neighbors, you're friendly with your neighbors, you can tell them stuff. There's that community spirit. That's what I grew up hearing about, and how like the UK is just especially London, it's very much, you don't even know your neighbors. You can live there for years and not ever see your neighbors. But when I moved to Lagos, it's the same thing. Like, you can live somewhere and not know your neighbors. There's that attitude of, let me do my thing, let me do my own thing. To a certain degree, that's fair enough. But if it's going to affect the other person in a negative way, there's a way that you can do it with love. Because I believe that's all part of loving someone, is to, even if you don't know them that well, you can be like, oh, like whatever it is that you feel like would help them, like, and you're not being a busybody, because, well, you are being a busybody, but whatever you feel like could help them, like it's genuinely coming from a good place, then yeah, of course, then, you know, reach out to them and, you know, in love, saying it, and reach out to them in love, and let them know. Because people have done it with me. They've reached out to me in love and made suggestions and stuff. And I always appreciate. I appreciate you guys commenting on my page and sending me DMs and emails and telling me stuff that, you know, encourages me and things that potentially can make me better. Shout out to you guys. To those though that are nasty busybodies, like, you know, I spoke a bit about it on my channel with my husband, about this lady that was just sending me messages consistently, and I didn't even realize she'd been sending me messages from like 2017, and they were all so negative. Like, she was just attacking me. Don't, it's no, you don't do that. It's no, you buy your daughter. She told me to make sure that I buy my daughter a black doll because she saw my daughter playing with a white doll. I was thinking, how do you know she doesn't have a black doll or whatever? And she was like, I think I was joking around with my husband in one video, and on my story on Instagram, and she was like, listen, you don't tell your husband, you don't reprimand your husband or tell your husband off, like, you know, in front of people. And I just thought, that was when I was like, oh, why haven't I blocked this woman? Like, all these years, and I looked like, what I always did was just open the message and close it, and then I just forgot about it. But that really ticked me off, because it's like, this busybodiness that one is too much. That's not even busybody. That's just plain out. That's just rude. You don't even know me. You just want to attack me for no reason. That is the no. That's the kind of busybody we don't want. We don't want. It's not nice. And I feel like there's good ways to tell people things. You know, if you feel a certain way, I may not agree, but there's a way that you can bring your opinion across that I won't feel attacked, and vice versa. So, you know, I had to block her nicely, because I just feel like I'm not going to entertain or communicate with people that are negative for no reason. I'm just going to block them. That's it. Just go blah, 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 blah. You know, in real life, you can't necessarily block them, but you can be like, sorry, I don't need to hear your opinion. Thank you. I don't want to hear your opinion. Anyway, I feel like I've just been chattering away this video, but I hope you guys get what I'm saying. I hope you understood what I was saying. You know, give me your comments below and let me know what you think about what I was saying about the good busybodiness and the bad busybodiness, like just being plain rude. But like, there are ways that they can be positive and ways that they can be negative. So, you know, give me your examples below if you've done it yourself, if that's, you know, if the story that I told, if you've been in that same situation. Let me even tell you guys, before I go, this embarrassing one. This is like almost 10 years ago, when I worked in a phone store in the UK. And so obviously, you know, us ladies, we don't have hair in the wrong places, of course. How do we have moustache and beard? But in reality, yes, we do. Yes, we get stray hairs. I get stray hairs on my chin, on my neck. Not fun. I get on my cheek sometimes, and it's like you're growing the beard. It's not cute, but you know, you got to make sure that you pluck them. But this was like I said, it was 10 years ago. So I was about, how old am I now? I'm 31. So I was about like, yeah, about 22. You know, I used to pluck them when I started noticing that I would get like random hairs, and so I would pluck them. I'd make sure I pluck them. But some days I'll be caught slipping, and I wouldn't pluck them. And I think that even the more I plucked it, the more it grew. I don't know. That's how I feel. That's how I felt then. And so on this particular day, I think I rushed to work. I didn't have time, so I didn't pluck, and I didn't check either. So I went in, and I was in the store and everything. And we were just like, you know, there weren't many customers, so we were just all kind of gisted. And then my colleague said to me, he's like, you know, I've got to tell you that for someone as young and beautiful as you, you shouldn't really have them kind of hairs on your chin. I was weak. More weak. I was just like, huh? What do you mean? And he was just like, no, I've got a mirror, let me show you. I was just like, no, it's fine, I'll check myself. Like, he was proper trying to show me, I was so embarrassed, and I even said, I was like, I'm so embarrassed. Like, why don't be embarrassed? It's normal, innit? It's not a thing. Just like make sure you pluck them. But like that was flipping embarrassing. So, but it was helpful. And he, to be fair, he wasn't, you know, he said it in a nice enough way that I didn't feel totally bad. But mate, I made sure I plucked like every day afterwards, because that was cringe. Me, I'm trying to do fine girl. You know, I even tried to do small makeups and someone's pointing out the hairs on my chin. Not cute. But yeah, that's my stories. Like I said, I got plenty of them. And if you want to hear my stories and gist with me and hear my gist, subscribe below. Hit the bell to get notifications of my new videos. And if you like the video, hit the like button, thumbs up. Sorry that this video has been so late since my last one. NEPA have, or PhD, whatever they call themselves, PHCN, have been a nightmare one. And also I had filmed a video before this and the card was corrupt. So imagine you film a video, you're excited about it, and then you can't even use it because the card don't afka. So, but anyway, I thank you guys for watching, and I will see you guys in my next video.